You ever get a letter that feels like it might as well be a threat, like you can practically hear it hiss when you open the envelope? That was me standing out in the driveway, wind kicking dust at my boots, clutching this certified letter that basically said, "Surrender your land rights or face destruction." I swear I laughed out loud because honestly, after what I just found in my own basement, it almost felt like a punchline. Or maybe a warning shot. Just 48 hours before that, I was a widower thinking maybe I'd finally find some peace on this worn-out Texas ranch, patching up fences, sleeping through the night, pretending the past was buried somewhere out under the prairie grass. Turns out I was standing on something nobody ever told me about. There was a map tucked away under a loose floorboard oil-stained canvas, 1987, and right there in red ink anomaly zone. Do not drill. I'd seen enough seismic data in my old geology days to know what that meant. After a little digging and a lot of math, I figured out there was somewhere around 300 million worth of oil and gas sitting just under my boots. Suddenly this place that was supposed to be my graveyard of old memories turned into a gold mine. I started dreaming maybe I could finally build something that meant more than just money. Set up scholarships in my wife's name, restore the land, make something beautiful out of all that pain. But let me back up a sec. See, that's exactly when the shark started circling. Black SUV at my gate. Two guys with binoculars and cameras didn't even try to hide it. Catalogs for mineral rights lawyers started showing up in my mailbox like someone had signed me up for a crash course in Texas oil law. And then this letter-certified slick logo, all that HOA legalese, meant to bury you alive in paperwork before you even realize you're already 6 feet under. According to the letter, some brand new Clearwater Estates HOA was now in charge around here. Never mind, I'd never heard of them or seen their signs. They claimed the county had rezoned the land, and now my ranch and 11 others, though I doubt any of those owners actually existed, were all under their rule. $15,000 a year in fees, no drilling, no digging, no surveys, no leasing mineral rights, unless the board said so. Every single rule pointed straight at that oil. No way that's a coincidence, right? So I do what any stubborn Texan does, I get mad. But I also get curious. I start poking around the county records, matching up parcel numbers. 8 of these supposed neighbor properties registered to LLCs in Delaware. 4 more names that don't show up anywhere. No phone, no address, no history. Ghost members. And this HOA, it's about as real as a tumbleweed in Times Square. That same afternoon, here comes the welcoming committee BMW suits and the kind of smiles that could cut glass. Lavinia Thornhill, HOA president, and Everett Kane, their legal counsel. She talks like she owns the place, talks about aquifers and community standards, all that jazz. But her eyes keep flicking over to the barn, the land, like she's measuring it for sale. She asks about my geology background, real casual, as if she doesn't already know. I play dumb. She gives me her card and tells me we're all neighbors here. It's in everyone's interest to maintain harmony. Which, coming from someone who just threatened to take everything I own, lands about as warm as an eviction notice. I call my attorney Marlo Shepard. She's sharp, doesn't blink at bureaucratic games. And when I hand her the HOA paperwork, she gets this look on her face like she just smelled something rotten. Then the lawsuit lands a 40-page stack of legal threats claiming I'd broken a covenant from 1995, which, surprise, I'd never signed, and demanding I stop all work on my land with a threat to freeze my title and drag me through court. The notary seal looks wrong. The signature, different ink, looks fresh. Marlo digs in files, a motion to dismiss, but tells me straight, they want you broke or gone, not just in compliance. Legal bills start eating through what little I've got left from selling the Austin house. But the attacks don't stop there. One night I hear a drill running out in the dark, 3 men, no lights working my northwest field. They scatter when I show up. Sheriff's deputy comes out, shrugs, files a report. Next morning, a note on my door, sell now. $250K or lose everything. No name, no number, just a threat. Meanwhile, the land's worth at least $4 million on a bad day. You tell me if that feels like justice. But they weren't done. Next came the smear campaign. News sites, forums, even a website called Save Our Aquifer, with aerial shots of my ranch and lies about how I'm out to poison the community. They make me sound like some greedy out-of-towner hell-bent on wrecking the land for profit. My phone blows up with angry calls, threats, people I've never met calling me a monster. You want to know what's wild? The HOA held a town meeting about me, didn't invite me, didn't want my side, just put on a show for the cameras. Lavinia stands up there waving charts, telling everyone how I'm a threat. They want me isolated, outnumbered, and exhausted. Thing is, grief and isolation, they'll break most folks, but they can also boil down into a kind of stubbornness that's pure iron. I start collecting my own evidence, every letter, every fake report, every trespass. I hire a private investigator guy who's seen his share of these schemes, and within days, he's dug up more than I could have dreamed. Turns out the HOA, never registered as a nonprofit, doesn't have a real office, and half the members are shell companies. But the kicker, Lavinia's been meeting with the CEO of Apex Energy Solutions, a big oil outfit already tangled up in lawsuits for pulling this kind of stunt across other states. Their whole strategy: cook up a fake HOA, strangle the owner with lawsuits and debt, and force them to sell cheap. Oh, and they tried to pull a fast one. Someone years back tried to split the mineral rights from the surface, but the paperwork was forged. Apex has been holding on to a fake deed for years, waiting to spring this trap on whoever bought the ranch. That was me. Marlo looks at all this and says, "We're not just talking property now, this is organized crime." And just when it feels like maybe we can actually take a shot at fighting back, everything escalates again. Second lawsuit, this one for environmental hazards with fabricated soil reports and a judge on their payroll. Restraining order, more legal fees. Now I'm locked out of half my land, and the only way out is to prove a negative with experts I can't afford. My savings run dry. I almost pawned my late wife's wedding ring just to buy a little more time. That one hurt more than any lawsuit. They vandalized my truck, slashed my tires, spray paint thief on the door. Police don't care. The phone rings, distorted voice says, "Stop digging or you'll be buried." Sleep's gone. The only thing keeping me going is this nagging sense that if I give up now, everything Rosalind and I ever built, her memory, her fight, her belief in standing your ground, gets trampled by people who think they're above the law. Then a break, a real one. An email from an anonymous source, I have evidence. Midnight Diner, Route 83. Come alone. Could be a setup, could be my last hope. I show up, heart pounding, and this guy slides into the booth across from me, nervous, haunted, but determined. Turns out he worked for Apex, got fired for refusing to falsify reports. Drops a USB on the table with internal emails, financial records, proof. They bribe the judge, forge the deeds, plan the entire operation years in advance. He even hands me the real geological report my land is worth $400 million, not the $250K they tried to bribe me with. That was the game changer. We leak just enough to the press. By the time we get to court, the story's gone viral, news vans everywhere, FBI agents in the back row, and Lavinia sitting across from me, suddenly not looking so confident. Their expert witnesses get shredded by the whistleblower's testimony. The forged covenant is exposed. Judge Worth, caught in the middle of a bribery scandal, is forced to recuse himself. The new judge rules for me: fraudulent covenants thrown out, environmental claims dismissed, HOA dissolved, Apex banned from contacting me or the property, and every bit of evidence gets handed over for criminal prosecution. That's the part where you feel the world tilt back toward justice, even just for a minute. A few months later, indictments start raining down. Lavinia, the Apex CEO, their attorneys, even Judge Worth, they all get federal charges. I win a multi-million-dollar judgment pay off my legal team, donate some to help others in my spot, and finally start putting this place back together. I negotiate an oil deal that's clean, ethical, 70% royalties to me. Local jobs, no environmental shortcuts. The ranch becomes more than just a monument to loss. I build scholarships, fund conservation, set up a research grant in Rosalind's name. Sometimes I drive out at sunset, look over the land and just breathe. The world's still unfair, no getting around that. But for once, the bad guys lost. You ever wonder if it was you with your future, your memories, your family's name on the line? Would you have fought even when everyone else said to fold? I had to learn the hard way that the only thing more dangerous than a man with nothing to lose is a man who already lost everything and refused to let it break him. So let me ask, where's the line between defending what's right and just surviving? When the system's rigged, do you keep fighting or do you walk away? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me what justice looks like to you, or share your own story. If you've ever stared down a giant and stood your ground. Because the one thing I know for sure, if enough of us refuse to roll over, even the biggest bullies have to back down eventually.